Hey guys! So today we're going to talk a little bit about a subscriber question that I got yesterday. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, do idealists make better, are they more equipped to be computer scientists as opposed of software developers? Well, that's an oddly specific question, as you can probably hear, so let's get into a little bit of context in order to make this clear. So a discussion that I've had with a few people on the comment section has been basically about this idea that academic prowess and being quote-unquote a genius or being very good at adhering to good practices is the way to go. And one of the statements that I've made is that although I enjoy quite a bit listening to programmers who are much more experienced than I am, and there are these people who are public speakers and so forth who are really good at what they do, one thing that I can never get behind is when I can very clearly hear that the individual that is talking, who is promoting these ideas, has never ever worked in a professional capacity in the way that this industry works. I can hear that they are exclusively all but either public speakers, managers, or academics, like they are working in a research field of some sort, because I can very clearly hear that they are not they have never been forced to work in the way that most of us work. The way that you hear that is very simple. They relentlessly and without any compromise adhere to best practices and promote the idea that, well, I can put it to you this way. To them, it sounds like adhering to the laws of programming and the ways of doing things is actually more important than creating business value. And I'm here to tell you that's not so. That's exactly what I told this individual. I can tell you that if a company gets to pick between a genius programmer who complains about how the state of the code and always questions every decision because it's not as important as making good software, they will be all but employable. And companies prefer to have good coders or good programmers who know how to get the stuff done or how to get the job done and understands teamwork, because that's what it is. You're not there to build perfection, I'm sorry to say. You're there to produce money for a company. And the people who can't accept that are usually very bitter, or they become public speakers. So that means that this question is about, all right, if that is true, if we accept that, or rather we just for the sake of argument accept that that is the truth of things, does it make more sense for an individual such as that to go into computer science? Well, I'll look at you and I will say no. Again, I will say no. Because of one fundamental reason, and that is that the person who asked this question may have it into their heads that computer scientists have this luxury lounge position where all they do is work with theoretical problems and algorithms. That is not so. It very much depends on the project that you face or that you're part of. I work very closely with computer scientists, and I can tell you right now that they work just as hard as I do, if not even harder. And they can probably all of them would vouch for the fact that it's very rare that they have the convenience of just having everything kind of be the way that they want to, because it's just that they face a different sort of problems. While I may face a problem where, all right, somebody comes in and tells me there's a deadline, Frederick, you need to hack this together, we don't have time to do this well, and sure, I can be frustrated with that, or I can get down to work and fix it. They have similar problems where people come and give them a bunch of unformatted data, most likely in the format of thousands of Excel sheets or I don't know, poor bastards. And then somebody tells them, we need some insights into this. Can you tell us how to act on this information? And their first job is to basically just figure out different ways of formatting that data into something that can be piped through an algorithm or a mathematical model. That's an easy case. You have other problems. I mean, they face the same sort of issues in their own way. I mean, I don't know how many times like somebody comes in and says, oh yeah, we need you to be working on this instead of that, and there's a new deadline, so we need to know this by Friday or by Monday. So it's the same sort of deal. It's just a different sort of problem. I can tell you that this is true for most industries, guys. When you are like a craftsman of some sort, you will in school, and you will, and unfortunately this is true for some, I don't want to say too much, but very specific people in the industry who I really truly deeply wish that I'm never forced to have to work very closely with such an individual. Who, like, there are people out there, guys, who for some reason have started believing that what they do is in some way special, that it's something magical and powerful about what they do, and they need to like they will stand on trial in front of Linus Torvalds or whatever programming god you have out there, and they need to prove to these entities within software that what they do, that they are really good at what they do. Because the worst thing possible could, in their minds, is that somebody's going to come and look at their code and say, that's really bad software. Yeah, I know, it's right. It sounds horrible, right? Having somebody judge you as an individual for software that you wrote sounds tough. So what I want you to take away from this, guys, when it comes to this idea of being a genius, and like whether or not this like overall, this specific question is for computer scientists, but even if it just in general, being a genius is a really dumb idea. It's not dumb to be smart. That's great. But you need to measure being very clever to being pragmatic. That's the thing that you're looking for. You need to have the heart of somebody who wants to improve things, who wants to push innovation and wants to make things better. But you need to have that's what you should have in your heart. But you also have to have a level head and a pragmatic mindset, because the fact of the matter is nobody cares if you are the smartest person in the room. They care that you will solve the problem in an efficient way on time. That's everything. On time. You cannot sit and just take how much time you want, or how much budget you need, or how many hundreds of hours you want, or rewrite an entire system just because you feel like it. Think of it as being a carpenter. If somebody comes in and asks and tells you, hey, we need to remodel our house, you cannot just walk into your client and say, no shit, this house isn't up to my standards, we need to tear the whole thing down and rebuild it from nothing. That's not feasible. Same thing here. So being a pragmatist, regardless of if you're a software developer, a manager, or like a carpenter, or if you are a computer scientist, is in general the way that you're going to get the furthest in whatever you're doing. So have the heart of a genius, or have the heart of somebody who wants to push and really be good at what you do, and measure and make sure that you keep that leveled head. Make sure that you have the heart of a genius and the mind of a pragmatist. Have a great day.